Fine and extra fine nibs are practical. They're perfect for small handwriting and daily use. But if you prefer bold strokes or really want to see how the ink shades and sheens, you would need something broader. So let's talk about some fun, impractical, super broad nibs. First up we have coarse nibs, which is what Platinum and Pilot call their most generously tipped round nibs. Pilot also offers a double broad nib with slightly less tipping, while Platinum jumps straight from broad to coarse. Sailor's equivalent is the zoom nib. It has a similar amount of tipping but is more faceted, allowing for thinner lines at higher angles. These nibs are just delightful to use as is, but also serve as excellent starting points for nib grinds. Here's a Naginata style grind by the talented Mark Bacchus, ground from a Platinum coarse nib. Next we have music nibs. These are stub-like grinds but with 2 slits for enhanced ink flow. My personal favorite is Platinum's music nib. It's firm yet buttery smooth and offers some line variation. Pilot's music nib is softer but has more feedback, at least in my experience. Sailor also produces a music nib but with only 1 slit, so it's sometimes dismissed as a regular stub nib. If you take the music nib concept and just dial it up to 11, you get Montblanc's signature nib. It also has 2 slits but is much broader and writes like a chiseled marker pen. The cool thing about this nib is its versatility. Rotate it 90 degrees and it writes like a fine nib. This isn't even Montblanc's broadest signature nib. The bespoke nib collection includes an even more extreme version. Now let's talk about stacked nibs. The OG stacked nib was Nobuyoshi Nagahara's Crosspoint, debuting with Sailor's 85th anniversary pen in 1996. The Crosspoint is a 2-layer version of Nagahara's own Naginata Togi grind. Today several nib grinders do stacked nibs. This example by Monty Winfield pays homage to Nagahara's King Cobra, a 2-layer nib with a second layer welded underneath the base nib. And here's a stacked nib by Nib Lab, similar to the Crosspoint. It features a second layer on top and has a Naginata-like grind. Sailor still makes stacked nibs, although only 2 layers. This Cross music nib is essentially a sharper version of the Crosspoint, resembling an extra broad architect nib. These are all pretty exotic nibs, but you don't need to spend a fortune to get a fun, super broad nib. My favorite low-cost alternative is the fude nib, which is bent upwards. Sailor sells affordable pens with fude nibs called fude de mannen, and some Chinese pens are also sold with fude nibs. Listings in English sometimes refer to these nibs as bent, art or calligraphy nibs. You can even buy the nibs separately for under $2 a piece. About half a century ago, when Nobuyoshi Nagahara was in charge of Sailor's Taiwan factory, he envisioned a fountain pen nib that would mimic the writing of a brush, and made several prototypes on Sailor's cheap and cheerful candy model. That eventually became Sailor's fude de mannen and is, as far as I know, the origin of the fude nib. These are some of my favorite super broad nibs. Share your own favorites in the comments, and if you would like to see more content like this, please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.